Simply download the Graphic News app from your Google Play Store and get your digital news from your favorite Daily Graphic, Graphic Business, The Mirror, Graphic Showbiz, Junior Graphic, and Graphic Sport.
It is a beautiful day, and you are welcome to Showbiz today with me, Delali Sika. For today's episode, our personality is a wonderful person. She is a mother, a wife, a singer, and she's ever sexy. Her name is Stephanie Benson, but she has another name which I'll leave for her to mention. So, Stephanie Benson, welcome to Showbiz.
Why are you leaving it to me? Yeah? We've been practicing it. It's a queer or henewa, a sinim, a kotokre, a kwasohima.
Okay.
I mean, if I'm in India, go right. Yes.
So, how does it feel like knowing that you are from a royal family? She's from Kumasi, Ashanti.
Yeah, Kumasi. My mother was Queen Mother at Ahinma Kokobing, and my uncle is a Santihini. So, I mean, it's the royal blood. Oh, let me send mum let me to me and need Mecca. But, you know, Mikotami Uncle Ching over London when I was 14 years old after my father died. And I hit the ground, you know, from being spoiled to being in Ghana to being in the UK and having to conform to being a good girl. And that was really difficult. I mean, that lasted all of like 6 years, and I went to being, you know, myself again.
You do miss it sometimes?
Miss being growing up in Ghana?
Yes.
Well, I mean, I was on my own. That was the worst thing because my sisters were all in Ghana and I was the only one who was sent away from the family. We used to travel to the UK a lot, but I just couldn't come back home. It was hard. Okay. It was not easy.
Okay, so let's go straight to your new project.
Yes.
With your sister. Is it she featuring you or you featuring her?
Oh, I'm featuring her. I think.
Okay.
I'm the older one. She's coming under my umbrella.
No. A gospel song.
Gospel. I think. Akos always gospel. No, with me, she's going to be Akos that I know.
And which Akos do you know?
Akos that I know is crazy as I am. So the song is called Adore. It's about love, though. It's nothing like bad. We're not going to be stripping or anything. But it's a really, really good song. And I wrote the song, and I wrote like 2 or 3 songs, and I sent it to her, and I asked her to pick one, and she picked Odo. And her voice is just beautiful on that track. You know, I made sure her voice shines. And also, you know, we're redoing Frema as well.
Oh, okay.
So we're going to combine the two and do like an A and B side. So Frema is going to have like a different flavor.
Okay, so from all indications, I can tell that the two of you are really close.
Oh, yes.
So when there are issues, stories and news about you, the bashing and the critics and all that, what does she do?
I don't know, maybe sometimes she joins in because she knows she knows that, you know, I'm very resilient. There's not a lot of things really bother me. I've been singing and performing in the arts in the UK since I was 19 years old. So for me, it's you know, this is what I do. So if people are going to criticize me because they're not used to who I am here, as far as I'm concerned, that's really their problem, not mine. So I can only just be myself, and you can either choose to like me or hate me.
But they say when you get to Rome, you do what the Romans do. So
and I said I'm a Roman, but I'm choosing to be a Hinewa Roman.
Okay, so as a singer, as an artist, what would you say is your biggest or has been your biggest challenge in the industry?
Well, I mean, especially what you just said, when you're in Rome, do as the Romans do. That's why we can't move on in our music. You know, a lot of them pretend they're doing really well outside, and the fact is some of them are not. And you can't go and play like a little gig for your friends abroad and say I'm touring. You know, and we have to, because we have to broaden our horizon. I'm not saying you should be like me. Everybody has to find themselves. And when you find yourself, then you're more accepting abroad. What you don't want to do is copy what everybody else is doing. Because what you're doing here, people are doing much better abroad. So when you go abroad, you have to have something else to give. And then you'll be accepting. So if you're performing here and you go abroad and you're performing to the same kind of people, Ghanaians in the UK, because a lot of the Ghanaians stick together. You haven't moved on. Basically, you just gone from Ghana to Ghana. So it's like, what are you doing? What we need to do is do the kind of music that will bring everybody together. The Ghanaians, the Italians, the Americans, the Europeans. I mean, it has to be, you have to be able to draw all of those people's attention as well. And that's how our music then evolves, and that's what I'm about. And I think
so when you look at how the media or people tend to criticize the female in the industry in relation to the lyrics and then their costuming, as an artist, when you sit back and you look at these things, how do you feel looking at your background? What goes through your mind?
Well, you see, the two things that go through my mind, because I think a lot of the artists are very talented, but their growth is stunted because you guys judge them too much. You see, you can't say somebody's an artist and then tell them how they should be. You see, an artist, that's what it means. It's the interpretation of who they are. So you have to allow them to be. You allow the men to be. Some of the guys come on stage and their trousers are at the bottom and you see their panties and they're crushing, they're grabbing their crushing, and you go, hey, and you're hailing them. But a woman goes and she's like, herself, and then you go, oh, she's a slut. It's double standards. It's just not idea of what a woman should be. I've been married 30 years. I have 5 children. The way I am on stage should not determine how you guys are judging people like me. And to be honest, I don't care. But the young ones, I suppose they do. So they follow the mold. And I also see that the other thought is that some of them are pushed to be that way. You can't, when they're pushed to be that way, it shows in your performance. And I've seen some of them, and when they perform, you can see it's not really them because it's forced. So that I cringe at, because when it's you and you're on stage and you're sexy, or maybe you're not, you don't have to be sexy. Even gospel artists, I see some of them really sexy with their big boobs and and they look really sexy, and they're standing there and they're going like this. That's all sexy. Just because they're singing about God does not mean that they're not trying to be sexy. They're all trying to be sexy. One of them, I saw her come on with some I don't know, some Dracula kind of outfit. Who was the name? I didn't even remember her name. That was, yeah. So that was, I'm thinking, well, she's trying to look good. Why are you on it? Some of the artists who are trying to be themselves. You allow the gospel artists to dress like scary monsters, and then you